So United failed to get a win in Europe again. We failed to hold on to a 2-goal lead again. I'm not here to talk about Ten Hag subs. The Rashford one was particularly suspect. He ended up being weirdly justified with the Maguire and Evans one, with obviously Maguire's goal at the end, but it was also hugely suspect at the time. But today I want to talk about the worrying tactic that is inverting Dalot in that midfield. Cue the meme.
He plays inverted and you're inverted.
Now, after the Palace game, I was praising this build-up setup as it did work. You can see in these slides here, Dalot was inverting, you had Eriksen pulling out to the left-hand side, and that allowed then United to progress the ball up the pitch. Having Eriksen out there, Xerxes dropping deep. Again, you've got Garnacho and Xerxes providing options in this clip. So inverting Dalot in that midfield in this instance, it did work. But again, it's just all about finding now that right balance. And it's clear after these last two games, we haven't quite found that. And for me, there's two players in particular that this is really hurting now. And that's going to be Martinez and Rashford. I'm going to explain why, but before I do, make sure you're dropping a like if you enjoy, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into it.
Go! Let's go, let's go, let's go!
So first off, why is it hurting Rashford? And not just him, any left winger that's out there on the left-hand side for United. After all, he had a goal and an assist before Ten Hag decided to randomly take him off. I still really can't get over that, by the way. But as you can see from the goal that Rashford did score though, it was more about him making the most out of what he was dealt with, rather than anyone helping him really tactically. He's constantly picking the ball up right on the touchline, far away from goal, which is definitely far from ideal for him. But then when he gets close to the box then, there's no overlapping runners at all to help him out. So what we saw in this game, for the first goal, Rashford picks the ball up on the touchline, he carries it forward, you got two Porto players there, there's no United player really offering him a run to overlap to take one of those players away. Eriksen again is the nearest man to him, Dalot's inverted into that midfield, and Rashford just simply makes the most of it. He manages to get past those two Porto players, gets his shot off, gets a bit of luck, but gets his goal. And then you can see a little bit later on in the game again then, where's Rashford picking the ball up to? He's picking the ball up right on the touchline. This is far from ideal for him. Carry it on a little bit again. Oh, look what happens. He's isolated on the touchline. Shock. Eriksen again, the nearest man to him. Rashford again makes the most out of this situation and manages to get across into the box. Like, this isn't helping Rashford out at all. It's not helping anyone. But Rashford in this game simply just made the most out of it. In that first half, it was his best attacking performance by far. Just because we saw the confident, direct Rashford. But we constantly see this throughout games now. We see Dalot just leaving a winger up against a 2v1, and then fans just ask, why are these wingers not doing more? Why are they not scoring? Why are they not getting assists? How about we just help them a little bit? This isn't just Rashford. Again with Garnacho, there's no fullback. That just leads in there. It leads us to have a heavy loss of a dynamic in our attack, even when Porto were sat back and protecting that goal lead in the second half then. You can see with Garnacho here, it's exactly what happens again. Eriksen is the closest man to him. Don't have a clue where our fullback is. So then Garnacho's left then trying to beat 2 or 3 Porto players or just get a massive long-range shot off on goal. Garnacho did have a lot of attempts in this game, but they weren't quality ones. And you can see why. I'm not going to blame him too much for it. The dynamic of our attacking play heavily needs to change. And people criticising Rashford, Garnacho, who's going to start, who's not, who's playing better. No one's really going to play that well with the current dynamics that we've got for me. I stand by that. And then in terms of Martinez, there's no doubt he's struggled throughout the course of this season. But how about, again, we help him out a little bit? You can't excuse what I'm going to show you now, because simply this isn't good enough. For that Porto third goal, noticed it when I was rewatching. What is Martinez doing? He's so focused on Samu ahead of him when that should be De Ligt's man. You've got a man, obviously Dalot's got someone ahead of him. It's not really his guy. That's Martinez's man there. And for some reason he chooses to ignore him. Again, you run it on. Porto have the ball and it's such an obvious through ball. Yet Martinez is not switched on to the danger. And this has been the case a lot throughout the course of this season. Martinez just switching off. But then De Ligt should be telling him, oi, get out there. That's not your man. I've got the striker here. And then Martinez then gets left on his heels, and you know the rest is history. That guy ends up getting past Martinez, getting the ball into the box, and then Samu gets Porto's third goal, and then obviously United are left struggling after that then. But again, largely having Dalot inverted into midfield means that Martinez has these type of spaces in front of him to mark. Martinez with the ball here. If United lose the ball at all, you can see the acres of spaces in front of him that he's got to cover when Dalot inverts into midfield. You got Rashford pushed right up on the touchline. That's another instruction by the manager. So both of them. You got Rashford on the touchline, far from ideal. You got Martinez marking 30 yards of space, having to come out to defend wide areas. Again, far from ideal. It makes these players look a lot worse than what they actually are. Yes, some of them haven't been in very good form. Martinez in particular for me. But still, how about we actually just help these players out from time to time? I've said it too many times under Ten Hag now that rest defence is so suspect. But he's never done anything to correct it. We blamed the players all of last season. Said, once we get our full strength team back, once we get Martinez back, these issues will go away. And I think that's generally what Ten Hag thought as well. But imagine my shock when it actually doesn't. Imagine my shock when you find out that these consistent structural issues, they're the real issues in this team. And it's going to be the reason why that ultimately now Ten Hag is walking that sacking tightrope. So there we are, guys. A quick video just explaining the dynamics currently that we've got in this team and why we still haven't found the right balance yet. We're still obviously in Ten Hag's third season and we still haven't found our balance. You would have thought by now it'd be a little bit better. And that's why for me, I did this video yesterday. As always, guys, drop a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new around here. I'll catch you in the next one.